Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today what we're going to look at is some of the services that you can offer as a new SMMA business. So we're going to look at some common services, right, that you have probably already heard about, but I'm also going to share with you some services that people don't really talk about. Now, before you pick any service, right, before you pitch anyone on any service that you want to offer, you have to make sure that the businesses actually need that service. If the businesses don't really need the service and you're just trying to constantly push it on them, it's going to be a very, very tough sell. But even if they do want it and they need it, you do have to make sure that delivering this service, right, is not going to take you specifically all day. You have to make sure it's something that you can build into a scalable system where you can plug other people, freelancers and contractors into that system. And so there's two key things that you have to look at as well when you're trying to pitch a service to a business. Now you have to make sure that one, the service is going to save them time. Okay, so you're either going to do it for them or it's going to just save them a bunch of time. Point number two is that if it doesn't save them time, it has to make them money. Okay, so you've got these two angles. Are you going to be able to save a business owner time or are you going to save them money? Now, ideally, you do both and you have a service that pretty much matches those two things, because if you do have a service that matches those two areas, it's going to be a lot easier to pitch and sell that service. Also, I just want to urge you to be super creative when you are picking a service. Okay, so as I mentioned, some of these are going to be very common services that you have heard about. Of course, I'm going to give you my personal opinion on them and if I think they're scalable and actually good services that businesses need. But like I mentioned, be creative. There's probably a lot of things out there that people are not offering right now. So as long as you can find that this service, right, whatever it is that you pick, is going to save them time or make them money and it's something they actually need, then yes, you should try it out. All right guys, so with all of that out of the way, we're going to get into the three services that we're going to talk about today. Service one, and my personal favorite service at the moment, is content creation. There is huge opportunity for content creation. Think about all of the content that businesses post, right? Most successful businesses are on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Pinterest, and probably a dozen other platforms. Now, where do they get that content? Well, most times they do it in-house, meaning that they hire someone on an hourly rate to create, to photo, to video all of that content for them. But a lot of businesses can't afford to hire someone when they're brand new, right? When they're successful, yes, they've got the budget, they can put it back in, easy. When they're new, a lot of times they don't have that huge budget that they're going to need. So if you're looking at businesses that are based in the US or let's say even in Ireland, most cases they're going to look for someone local, right? They're going to look for the local person who can help them with content. And that's where the problem usually lies. Those local people will want decent rates and decent amount of money. So it's simply just not viable for them to pay those people, which is where you come in. If you can find a freelancer offshore, maybe in Asia, Pakistan, Philippines, and get them to create content from the content the client already has, right? So using any product shots using any product photos or videos they have behind the scenes, taking all of those and using Photoshop, Premiere Pro and other editing softwares to make that into fully fledged content that's going to work on social media. Now, another few reasons why I absolutely love content, right? That's the first thing, is that there's just so much opportunity. So many businesses are posting so much content every single week, and that content has to come from somewhere. But you see, content is not solely based on an ROI. Okay, so if a business pays you for content creation, right, and they pay you $1,000 per month, and even if you don't make them directly 1, 2, or 3,000 back, a lot of times they're still going to pay you because they understand that you're not just trying to make them money, but you're also saving them time. Okay, so you're in that nice in between where you're saving time and making money. Another key point is that content is very easy to outsource. When you compare outsourcing pretty much any other service that is more high level and technical, content is one of the more basics, which means it's a lot easier to outsource. It's relatively easy to find a freelancer, find a contractor who is pretty good and is not going to break the bank. And so as I mentioned, this is my personal favorite service right now. My agency does about 50K per month. And we pretty much are doing 80% of that with content creation. We're still doing a little bit of social media management. We're doing a bit of coaching with our clients, but most of our revenue and most of our clients are with us for the content we create. And we found a really, really good way of pitching this to businesses where they understand the time saving and how we're saving them loads of time, but also how we're potentially going to make them a lot of money over the next 12 months. Also, content is usually evergreen, which means that they can use it for 1 or 2 years into the future, even if they stop working with us after a few months. So this is obviously really good at getting them to work with you because they see the long-term potential with this, and it's not as if they just spend the money with us and then after 3 months it's gone. It's the opposite, right? They have that tangible content that they can reuse over and over again. Okay, so that is service number 1. Now, service number 2 is one you have probably heard quite a lot about, and that is paid advertising. This can be Facebook, Google, TikTok, Snapchat, or any form of advertising. Don't get me wrong, paid advertising is a great service, but it's just not my personal favorite right now. Point 1 is that paid ads is super scalable. You can charge higher retainers, which means that you need less clients to hit 10K or 20K per month. But it is very hard to outsource from my experience and also from people that I know, right? There's some people I know doing very, very well with their agencies, multi-6 figures per year, and they're having a hard time outsourcing ads where they're still personally doing a lot of the ads for their clients. Now, that's not a position I want you to be in. I don't want you to be stuck in your business where if you don't show up and run the ads, the whole business goes to poop. Paid advertising is based on a direct ROI. So if a client pays you 1,000 and you don't make them multiple thousands back, they're not going to be happy. It's not like content where they'll see the kind of long-term potential and how they can reuse the content. Ads is very transactional, so if you just don't make money, you don't make money. And so some reasons why I did not start an advertising agency really just come down to the lack of control you have with paid advertising. So for example, you can be the best advertiser and you can be sending, the best people to someone's website. But if their website is slow, not optimized, and they've just got terrible products that people actually don't want because they didn't do their market research, you're not going to be able to make the money. And that's just the harsh truth of it. They have to have good foundations, they have to have a good website, and they have to have a good product. Now, of course, that can happen with any service, but because ads are so ROI focused, that's where we see the issue coming. Also, there's a lot of speculation about new updates, iOS 14 and other things like that, where it's not the end of advertising, right? It's still going to continue to be there, but it's just a lot harder to get as good results as you could have before. So all in all, ads is a good choice. But the thing is, as I mentioned, hard to outsource. It's hard to predict, right? Because the business owner has to have everything dialed in on their end, but also it's very, very competitive. 90% of new agency owners are starting with Facebook and paid advertising. So if you want to stand out from the crowd and do something different, that's why I'd look at content or a different service, which we'll get onto now. Okay, so service number 3 is one that you definitely know of: social media management. Okay, so a business pays you a monthly fee and you manage their social media. So you either create content and post it, or you just take the content they already have and you post it for them. Now, with social media management, you're not simply just managing. Sometimes you will be, right? And the client doesn't care if they don't have new followers coming in each month, and they don't really care if there's new revenue. They just literally want you to post once a day and keep the feed active. Most times they are going to expect that you are going to be making them more money and that you're actually going to be able to get them new followers as well and grow their audience. So it's a really good service because obviously it's a huge time saver, right? The business doesn't have to do it themselves if they pay you. And secondly, you've got great potential to make them more money because you're getting new followers and you're putting out content that people actually want to see. There's a lot more likelihood that now you're going to be able to increase their sales revenue. So social media management is something we still do a little bit of. We're moving away from it in the future because it is less scalable than content for us. We were able to get to the current mark we're at with a lot of social media management, but going to that next level and keeping the business running where there's less headaches and there's less things that are going wrong, we're looking to kind of minimize our social media over the next few months. We will still do it with select clients and those clients that have been with us for a long time, but for new clients, we're going to stick mainly just to content and coaching them up so that they can do it themselves. And this really came down to, as I mentioned, having less headaches, but also because content for us is more profitable. We make more money for every dollar that we make for content rather than the social media management side. So all of those 3 services I mentioned there are ones that I absolutely love. I think you should go with one of those. But as I mentioned, I want you to be creative, right? Because there's a ton of other services out there such as SEO, web design, email marketing, and to be honest, the list goes on. There are so many services you can offer to a business owner. So be creative, do your research, see where there's a gap in the market for the industry and the niche that you want to work with, and try it out. And if you want my personal help, where I will help you one-to-one pick the exact service and niche that you should target based off of you as a person, what you're interested in, and what would actually work for your lifestyle, you should definitely check out the 6-Figure Accelerator program, where we host a weekly group coaching call every single week. We have a full program with templates, scripts, and videos so that you can start your SMMA business and scale it up. But as I mentioned, you also get my one-to-one support on a weekly basis. So the link to that is going to be down in the description. And apart from that, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you actually liked this video and you got some value. Of course, drop a comment if there's anything else you want me to cover. And if you're not already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.